Particular video, I'm going to be going over how to use and apply fundamentals to your trading strategy. It's a very critical point and very important to understand what's going on in terms of fundamentals, how to use them. In a nutshell, fundamentals are just like essentially news. It's kind of like we trade currencies and stuff and different markets and different instruments. But I feel like the fundamental news is probably the closest correlation between forex and like the stock market. Like with stocks, companies, they release their quarterly earnings. News comes out about Tesla. Elon Musk says this or says that or tweets out this. The stock moves. A lot of the stock market and a lot of these other instruments out there are based upon fundamentals, which is essentially news. So you have technicals and you have fundamentals. Technical trading is what we've been doing throughout the entire course, and that is analyzing the chart, seeing what's going on with structure, all those things. That's called technical analysis or technical trading. Fundamental trading or fundamental analysis is understanding the economic news around certain pairs and how they impact your current pair or the market in general. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Just want to show you guys how to go about doing this. So the first thing you want to do is just go to fxstreet.com. There's multiple. I'll just go to the home page, the landing page. So there's a few different places. You can also use like Baby Pips News. I think Baby Pips is a pretty good site for economic news. But for the most part, this is what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna see. You're gonna come to fxstreet.com, and then from here you want to navigate to the economic calendar, and you'll see you have the economic calendar here. And what this is just kind of a breakdown of like the upcoming economic news that may impact the market throughout the week. Okay. So what I always do is make sure it's in your time zone. So there's a bunch of different time zones. Trust me, you want to make sure that this is the first thing you want to do is make sure it's in your time zone, because there's been times where I've been in trades years ago where I was in trades and this like I came here, checked fundamentals, but I wasn't in the correct time zone, and I entered a position, and little did I know like FOMC or consumer CPI or Michigan Index or something happened that was somewhat of a pretty big news article that affected my trading. Whether that was all of a sudden I looked at my trade and I was in super profit and I had no idea what was going on in my early days, or it was like I was in red or even maybe potentially a blown account. Okay, so it's very critical to make sure that this is in your time zone so you know exactly when certain news events are going to be announced. And that's the reason why I always cross-reference with like a second one. Like maybe we'll go. Maybe we'll go Baby Pips. Let's see. Oh shit, damn. Okay, so Baby Pips, FX Street. Go back here. Okay, so and if you go to Baby Pips, you can go to let's see, it's somewhere on here. Just news. Yeah, here we go, news. Global market. Where is it? Calendar, maybe calendar. Economic calendar. Okay, so here we are as well. So I'm going to show you guys both of these. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to stay on FX Street for now because it's the main one. I'll come back to Baby Pips. But like I said, make sure it's in your time zone, and then always change it to AM, PM. The 24-hour military time is kind of confusing, so just AM, PM, make it easier on yourself. Okay, so now that it's in your time zone, you want to go here and select the range for that week. So it's November 4th to November 8th. So I'm gonna go ahead and select that range. It's really straightforward. So what happens is you're gonna be looking at the, like, say it's Monday, right? Currently it's Monday. So what I'm looking at for the morning session, say I woke up at like 6 a.m., right? These the impact is going to be associated to a certain color. So the impact of the news that's being released is going to be associated with a certain color. So right here, you might have like this orange or this yellow or this or red. So kind of like a street light minus the green. It's yellow is like you can go full fledged, you're good to go. The orange is kind of like caution. I will trade orange news. I'm not afraid to be in a position or to be trading with orange news, especially like the top of the hour and this and that. I'm not really too concerned with orange. It's something you want to be aware of. And if you are going to be in a trade or you're about to take a trade and you check fundamentals and you see that there's yellow and it's around like maybe the currency you're trading, you want to make sure you just to be aware of that, but it doesn't disqualify you from taking a trade. For me, for the most part, the red, like RBA interest rate decision, RBA monetary policy, all these are all things I would adhere to. Now, the trick is understanding that you have to correlate this information to the pair or the currency that you're involved in. So, for instance, if I'm trading USD JPY and I come down here and I check and I see that the AUD or the Australian dollar is there's a lot of news coming out for AUD. Look, AUD red, AUD red. I'm looking right here. AUD, 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 RBA rates interest. All this stuff happening at 10:30 p.m. tonight is major news for AU. So I do trade AUD USD, one of my backup pairs. So if I'm looking at this market, then I'm not going to want to take that trade at like right at 10:30. Now, after the news comes out and the market begins to kind of correct itself and kind of adjust to the impact of that news, 30 minutes later, an hour later, an hour and a half later, you can feel free to still take that trade. It's okay. But if like you're looking to take a trade at 10:30 p.m. tonight, right when this news is coming out, the market is going to just shoot up and down and it's going to be a lot of volatility because the market's adjusting to the new conditions of the information that's being put out there about what's happening with that particular currency pair or currency itself, okay? Whereas, for instance, if I came down here and I'm trading USD JPY and I have a trade at 10:30 and I went and checked fundamentals and I saw the yen had 10-year bond auction, but the impact of this is yellow, I'm in the clear to trade. It's perfectly fine, okay? Now, again, you have to cross-reference the pairs too. So like if I was trading, if I'm trading, pretty much all the pairs I trade are USD. So always USD, always pretty much make sure you know what's going on with USD because even if you're trading a non-USD pair like, AUD CAD or NZD CAD or, GPP JPY or something like that, the US dollar is just the US dollar. So it's pretty strong and it has a pretty strong impact across the majority of all pairs. So if you ever come down here, like AU, like this information should be curtailed specifically just for the AUD, like the Australian dollar, right? Like AUD, that's it for this one, right? But if I was coming down, let's see if we can have some US news. Okay, so see like right here on Tuesday, November 5th, election day, you have ISM services PMI October, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's red news. So if I'm seeing that, I'm not really wanting to be in a trade on USD JPY, AUD USD, Euro USD, GPP USD, NZD USD, USD CAD. Anything dealing with the dollar. Again, the dollar pretty much affects all these markets for the most part. So if I see US news, like the dollar news right here, I'm going to probably want to understand what's going on with that and maybe avoid trading. But if I'm trading if I'm trading all the pairs I trade and I come down here and see USD and then at 10 a.m. ISM services PMI October, this and that, I'm going to go ahead and just wait. I'm going to wait. And a lot of times if I have a setup at 10 a.m. and it's like a really good setup, I just don't want to pull the trigger right when that top of the market happens, even if I have like an entry. The only way you can get around that, in my opinion, and the only way I would get around it is if I really wanted to take that position, knowing that this major news event was coming out, I would just take a very small, maybe like a 20% or 15% of the overall amount that I would risk on that position, just because I don't want to risk a crazy amount with the volatility of the market with this news coming out. Now, a lot of times what will happen is the market will do its like crazy stuff. It'll go up and down, and then it will consolidate kind of in a range. And then from that little range, you can start to look for the actual entry after the news is kind of tapered off and the market's reacted to it. Okay. So in a nutshell, don't make this too complicated. Okay. It's fundamentals. It's kind of cool too with these things. Like if you go down here and say you want to actually like learn something, which is something that I will do here too. Like I have no idea what the ISM services PMI October, like what the hell is that, right? I click on it Institute for Supply Management monthly. It'll tell you all the details about what this news is, why it matters. You know, Service Purchasing Managers Index (PMI) released on a monthly basis, leading indicator gauging business activity in the U.S. services sector. Okay, which makes up most of the economy. Okay, so major news, like the ISM is major news. So stuff like that, like you can come in here and just learn more about what's going on with that particular news day if you want to learn more about it. But I don't really dive too much into this. I pretty much never click on as to what's going on unless I feel like I don't know what it is. I'm pretty well versed with fundamentals, CPI, like I said, FOMC, non-farm payroll, Michigan index, all those things. But Fed chair announcement, Powell, and all that. But I don't really go in here and read all these. The main thing you need to understand is just what is the impact? Is it orange, yellow, or red? And then what currency is that correlating to, and what time it's happening. That's pretty much it. So like right now, if you see this, that's a good point that I'm seeing here. So like if you see this, like 21 apostrophe, that's just a minute countdown. So what this means is that it's within the 30-minute threshold. So it starts to do like a countdown. So 21, you see there's 21 minutes until the top of the hour. So that just tells me that the factory orders MOM September for USD, and you see how it just changed to 20, and now there's 20 minutes left here. That just means that's going to happen at 9 a.m. So once it gets inside 30 minutes, it starts to do like a little countdown, which is cool too. So that's for FX Street. For baby pips, I don't really use this too often, but it's probably the same exact thing. Okay, so then, here we go. Let's see about the USD, US factories. No, what was it? When was that? Let's compare. Let's do a little comparison. This was on Tuesday, the ISMC. Let's see if they have that here. Tuesday IMSC. Oh yeah. See, look at this. Presidential election. High news. This is important. So tomorrow's Tuesday. It's the US presidential election. I am probably not going to be that engaged, especially at night when the results start to roll in and people start to talk about who's winning and all that type of stuff. Like, don't be in the market. I was in the market. When I first started learning the market, this is back when Trump was elected president back in 2016. And literally watching the markets when the announcements started coming in that he was going to win and it was about to be official and all this stuff, the markets went absolutely insane. So tomorrow, I'm pretty much going to be avoiding, and look, this is all day. I don't know why this isn't on here. I would have thought that this would have been on here too. I guess it's not an official announcement, but yeah. So see, this is a great example. You'll come here and check FX, right? And you don't see the presidential election I don't see it anywhere. You don't see it for Tuesday the 5th, but then when you come over here, you see presidential election, high impact all day long. You know what I mean? So it's kind of good to have two different like fundamental websites or something that you can kind of cross-reference and compare a little bit. But I was trying to find that other one. Where's that 10 p.m. one? Okay, cool. So see, we have the ISM Services PMI. Now this says 9, and that's because it's on GMT 600, where it should be on 5, 842. So see, this says 9 a.m., but it says 9 a.m. Tuesday. However, on this level over here, GMT 50, 500, 942, 842. That's weird. I don't know why it does that. What was that about? GMT 600. So see, that's the reason why you got to cross-reference, because like with fundamentals, you got to just make sure you're getting the right information. So, but for me, I never really just use baby pips like that, and FX Street has never led me astray. This time, this is the first time I've really been on this website showing you guys this. Like, I never really used babypips.com, but it's good to just have a cross reference. Like I said, you have the ISM. This might just be like standard time that it's set in for Eastern, but if I knew that going in, then I would have to say that this is going to be an hour ahead on these time frames, which it looks like it is. But I've always just trusted FX Street. It's never led me astray. It's very accurate and it's pretty easy to read. So I would use this, but like I said, with the election, you might see that on here and be like, oh wow, I forgot about the election, and then you didn't see that over here. Obviously, like that could impact your trading. So that's fundamentals. I'm trying to think of what else I could say about fundamentals. Yeah, I mean, some people trade fundamentals, religiously, and like they read news all the time and just trade the news, but I don't do that. I just do technical analysis. So, but I'm aware of what's going on in the market because it does, fundamentally, I'm aware of what's going on because these things do impact the market. So, alrighty, guys. Well, that's fundamentals. I'll catch you guys on the next vid.